This is a real role play. Everybody that's in my leadership program, we score them, and we look at how they score the leadership program, and you scored it lower than anybody else.
Say what now? Say that one more time.
You scored, in your scoring of the leadership program, you scored it lower than anybody else. Did you know that?
No.
So now we're gonna have a real role play.
Okay.
So what are the top 3 things you've learned from the leadership program?
That my lids limit myself.
And did you learn that in the leadership program, or did you learn it outside the leadership program?
In the leadership program.
So then why would you score it low versus high?
Because I could do better.
But are you scoring yourself, or are you scoring the content?
I'm scoring where I want to be.
Yeah, see? So where do you want to be?
I want to be way up here.
How do you define way up here?
I want to make a difference in people's lives, and I want to create value and a culture that people can believe in.
Sounds pretty precise, doesn't it? Yeah. Sounds good to me. Is that how you would have communicated 3 months ago?
Probably.
Is that how he communicated to you?
No.
More withdrawn.
Yeah. So you recognize, so when you're scoring it low, what are you trying to translate there? Your ability to absorb the knowledge and apply it, or the quality of the program, or your ability to act on the knowledge that you have?
To be honest, so I've been and done some things pretty successful. The last business I worked with prior joining with took a $30 million company to $90 million in 5 years.
Wow.
As the what role?
CFO.
CFO.
I also started up another company and took it to 0 to 12 million. And actually the company that I just left, or didn't leave, they just sold the company this last week, ironically, that I set up.
How much did you get paid on that deal?
Nothing.
Why?
Because I didn't have everything in contract in writing.
And on the deal that went to 100 million, how much did you make on that?
Nothing.
Why?
Because I didn't have anything because I didn't set the expectations to the owners, to be honest.
Do you guys have anything in writing?
Not yet. It's been talked about.
But how does that make you feel to have a CFO that never put his own stuff in place in order to win when the business won?
He expressed all that. We do have notes on that.
No, that's my, you
Yes.
didn't even answer my question. How does it make you feel about the contracts you have with other people when you have a CFO who's never even taken care of himself in deals?
Sure. Lose an open question.
Say that one more time.
How is it that in 3 separate deals, you make the statement, I grew them and did this, but you didn't get any of the benefit of the sale?
Those were that was one deal. I guess maybe I got lost, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What he's saying is, you right now you're in your 3rd deal with me.
Yes.
And there's no contract in place, but there's documentation of to be, but there's no contract in place based off of what I'm doing when I'm going through with you.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that anybody who actually did build something, I've never seen a situation where somebody worked and took credit for building something and did not get any of the win.
Well, I no longer work there.
Yeah.
So.
What I would say to you, yeah. So I appreciate.
I see what you're saying. I mean,
blind spots are the most important thing for you to recognize. So the success, participating in somebody else's success is one thing.
Right.
Actively driving and controlling success is another thing.
All right. So all right. So I'm in this position, right? And I don't know everything, so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah.
And trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So probably at that time, so I'm in like 3 programs.
Yeah.
And I'm behind.
On all of them. Yeah, again, you're trying to He probably left you a nice little turd to clean up. Hey, where's your financials? They're in the shoe boxes in the closet in the back on the right. Well, no, that says 2007.
Not wrong.
Yeah, I get it.
But my expectations are high as
Yeah.
well. And to be honest, I promote everything that you're doing here, and I believe in it very, very strongly. And I very much believe what we're going to accomplish, we would not do without you.
Yeah.
There is so much that we need to do that I'm actually happy that we are partnering and at the SP.
Yeah.
I see the value in the SP.
Yeah, I just am doing this with you because I want to make sure the air's clean with everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So when you score yourself on that program and you're scoring the program, what do you need to get from the program that would allow you to feel more confident in what you're going to do to accelerate what you're doing?
Those are some good questions.
So you're a little lost because so whatever you did, when you did it, you were uncertain what you did. Right? You were either certain when you did it or you were uncertain.
Well, I scored myself tough, right?
Yeah, you scored yourself tough and you scored the program tough.
I scored the program tough.
Yeah.
I have high expectations.
Yeah, so my question is, what are you not getting out of the program
Gotcha.
that you'd want to get out of the program in order to increase the scoring of the program?
Gotcha. All right. So I think there needs to be more clear. One thing. Okay. One, hold accountability, right? Mm-hmm. Has your program holding me accountable for me filling out all the weeks? I'm asking you the question now.
How do you know that you didn't fill out all the weeks?
I know I didn't, and I know you track it.
And was there a phone call to score you on it?
There was one follow-up email.
But do you want me to hold you accountable, or do you want me to babysit?
And again, I'm not.
Right. You want me to?
I get. You're.
So inspiration. Why are you in the program? Because here's the thing. I'm not your boss.
Right.
He is. So why am I holding you accountable? He paid for it. Are you holding him accountable?
No.
See where the trouble is? CFO, number 2 most important position in his business because he's driving sales. You're driving finance. He's asking why I'm not holding him accountable in the program. You wrote the check on his behalf. Why do I have to hold you accountable?
And I agree with.
Okay, so that's
I agree.
okay.
I agree 100%.
I will get you to agree to everything. What's the next thing? Does anybody disagree? Does anybody in here disagree with me? Do you remember the last module you watched?
So the last module that we're working on is the last week of our program, the 15th week.
And what is that module about?
It's about reflection of what you learned about in the previous weeks. And how do you grade yourself of what you think you are and before and after. And that's what the question I thought you was asking me.
You guys need to have this conversation. Who's the owner of the business?
Me.
Who's responsible for discipline?
I am.
Who's responsible for accountability?
I am.
What are you expecting him to do on behalf of the organization?
To uphold that. Uphold what I instill, and I'm not instilling it properly.
Lamir, everything you look in the business that you see you don't like, it's because you put it in there.
We had a nice talk yesterday. One thing that you brought up was the survey that I done. And you mentioned that was the worst survey, that response that you got.
On the leadership response, yeah,
Yes.
sure, I remember that.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. That's good.
I was totally confused.
Yeah, I do that at you just to get you out of shape so when I could interview you on the, because you know what happens, guys, when you're going to go interview a new employee and you had a shitty day already, you're going to carry that in. Do you understand that? So I threw him out of whack so then I could do the interview of a key employee. So this is really important. Energy is everything. And when you're out of alignment, you're going to carry that to everything, including a new employee, and you're going to be discombobulated. So you got to learn to control what's happening here all the time. Fair enough? Can I ask a question, everybody that's paying attention? Because you all got to hire people in your business. On a scale of 1 to 10, just throw numbers out. How confident do you feel that he knows what he's talking about?
1.
He's not presenting anything to this room that makes us feel like he can solve any of your problems. And you're looking, in your role play with me, you were trying to blame
Okay.
somebody, either Amanda,
I'm sorry.
who were you trying to suggest was responsible for why you're not where you need to be with the leadership program? Because you started with, do we follow up with people in the program? And it sounds like we did follow up. We scored you. We actually are in tune with how you feel about the program, and there was a 30-day lag from when we got you registered and got you set up, and we knew that you weren't doing the modules. So that's why she specifically followed up to find out why you weren't doing it. But when you were saying, like, do we follow up with our clients, you were trying to project responsibility, because that's where you were going with it, but I cut you off with it. Did you all feel that?
Yes. Okay. And I don't realize this.
But what were you trying to, what point, what was the basis of the question then?
That's good. I wanted to get your attention.
You're up here in front of everybody. You have everybody's attention.
I know now.
But why do you want my attention? What do you want with my attention?
I want to be successful.
Okay.
And
Do you feel you're not successful now?
Yes, I do. No. I would like to. So go back to the financials. Can we go back to the financials?
Yes.
So everything.
By the way, if I hired you to be my CFO and your job was the financials and we were 6 months into the engagement and I didn't have pristine financials, I'd fire you. Just so we're clear, like, you got my attention.
I got you. I understand.
Does everybody have my attention?
Yes. All right. So
Do you have my attention?
I do.
So you got it.
you got my attention too.
Yeah.
So
So why aren't the financials dialed in and done? And why isn't there a system in place where there's a team behind you that's making sure that's happening in real time?
we're working on that. So
But I bet you've been there 6 months. I'm not an accountant, I'm not a CPA, but I do know that cash has to get put somewhere and bills have to get paid out of somewhere. And I do know that if I didn't have that, I would immediately have somebody use something that would go backwards and reconstruct it if I was there for 6. I demand that we have it at least from the day I hired you going forward, and within 60 days it would be constructed, and then I would demand that you go backwards and recreate whatever needed to happen for the last 6 months. And that would be the first priority, because I don't know how you implement a system for the whole company if you don't know your COGS, you don't know any data.
I have a question.
Yes.
You guys have a business bank account, right?
yes.
QuickBooks is like $50. It connects to yours, and you start going through there and categorizing it.
Right. But right. So
And the next question is, you file taxes, don't you know?
Yes.
Government, like, categories
Yes.
of filing taxes? Like,
Yes.
somebody's filing taxes somewhere, the categories of information.
So here's what would happen if I'm not an accountant, here's what would happen if I called me and he said he was struggling and I walked in his business. I don't know shit about accounting, but here's what I would do. I would give me all your invoices that you're getting from your vendors and give me your sales slips that you're selling, and I would go to somebody, because I can't do a spreadsheet, and I'd say, here's what we're paying for all this stuff and here's what we're selling it for. How much cash have we actually collected against this invoice? And I would have cash collection. So every day I'd have a daily flash. What bills do we get in today? What sales did we get in today? What cash did we collect today? And I would start right there the moment I walked in, because I don't know how I'd make a single decision if I wasn't starting that process immediately.
maybe I'm not painting the picture enough, but if you start from nothing.
I feel like, can I tell you something?
Sure.
I feel like what you're trying to do is justify something.
Okay.
What do you want to justify?
I guess I wasn't planning on. I don't even know what you mean. What am I trying to test?
Well, you wanted my attention.
Yes.
Why did you want my attention? Because you want help.
Because I want help. Yes.
Okay. And we're trying to help. We have SBU teams. We have all these people that are trying to help.
Yes.
Okay. So, and then you were asking me about my team's follow-up with you. You were trying to make a point.
I was trying to say, well,
What you're trying to say is that we, as an organization, put you on this program. We registered you for it. Nobody followed up with you. You didn't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know what you're supposed to do. And we aren't communicating effectively and efficiently. Therefore, you didn't know to stay on top of it. That's what you were trying to frame in its entirety with what little data that you presented to me, true or false?
that's true.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to. So and I wasn't trying to blame anybody. What I'm,
Well, no, you were trying to. No, you were. You were trying to say.
Yes.
I don't think this is the forum
Okay.
for your continued discussion, and you're really not listening.
Okay.
Okay. And we all came here for training.
Okay, I apologize.
Thank you.
I apologize. I apologize.
Yeah, good.
I'm trying. Trying
Okay.
to-
Yeah, you're trying. Great call.
I'm sorry.
All right. All right. Sometimes getting attention isn't necessarily the best thing.